Zack Snyder is back again with Army of the Dead, a zombie heist movie that borrows from a lot of other movies. I'm Matt. This is the other Matt. What'd you think of this movie, Matt? This in our spoiler-filled review.
Yeah, this is spoilers. So if you haven't seen Army of the Dead and you really don't want that sick, masterful plot spoiled for you, this is now your time to go out. We do have like a super short 3-minute spoiler-free video. Check it out in our YouTube or on the podcast, however you're listening or watching. So if you want to know without spoilers. But spoiler regarding, there's a lot of stuff to get into, so I'm not going to get too much in now. But I'm going to say overall, I enjoyed it. There's really some really weak parts in this movie. A lot of it comes from Zack Snyder's overindulgence with the script, his inability to pick a tone and stay with it, too many ideas that he just wants to show for a second, and it's got some like weird half social commentary with characters you don't really care about. But at the end of the day, there's some neck snapping. You see a chick's head get exorcist twisted or spines popping out. See people get their face blown off. There's a lot of that classic like zombie blood spraying. A person starts to get bit and there's like a fountain of blood out of nowhere. So it's got that fun, dumb kind of stuff. In that regard, it's been a while since I've seen a fun zombie movie. I missed out on Zombieland Chapter 2 or whatever they called it. So it's been a while since I've seen a campy, silly zombie movie. And this opening credit scene they have at the beginning really puts you in the mood for some zany, wacky, Las Vegas-themed fun. And then it kind of dumps out into something different. But I was riding a high at the beginning of this movie, and I thought it fell apart. But Matt, what did you think before we get into like super deep spoilers with the plot and stuff? What did you think of the story itself on the whole?
I'd say there are so many moments in the script where I just rolled my eyes, felt were really cringy, really brought me out of it. There's so many stupid things the characters say. There's so many stupid things the characters do. For example, the opening bit, you've got the army transporting something, which ends up being the zombie.
They joke about it. They're like, well, what if it's the big one? Because we're coming from where, Area 51. It's very cheeky, and the acting's kind of a little shitty, and you're not sure if it's because it's a campy movie or if it's because like it's straight to Netflix kind of thing. But it sets a weird tone. I did enjoy the opening.
I didn't mind that. I was like, okay, this could be fun. And then coupling that with the incredible Las Vegas zombies taking over, that whole story montage, I was like, this could be really fucking fun. And
props to that opening montage. If you've seen Zombieland, it's very similarly like this. Was it 5 minute long? Right?
Yeah.
It has all the different characters who eventually group up for the main movie. You kind of see them fighting as the zombie apocalypse breaks out over Las Vegas, starts taking over the town, and it's. Zack Snyder loves doing big musical openings. You've seen it in Watchmen. You see it in a bunch of his other movies. And it's just fun and full of everything you like to see in zombie movies with the added Las Vegas jokiness. So it reminded me a lot of the Zombieland opening. Very similar vibes. And that's what I thought we were in for. I thought we were in for a jokey zombie bit. And then they're like, hey, but what about people in detention camps?
Yeah, and just to talk about that intro, when they end up crashing into this couple that just got married, and the guy's getting roadhead, and they crash and they are raiding it in. They say the cargo's been compromised. Now we know that it's this super powerful zombie thing. So
gotta be something.
You'd think if these are like the best of the best that are transporting this incredibly important thing, they would tell them, neutralize the target, neutralize it. It's super dangerous. Instead, the radio tells them, run away, evacuate. Like that's
the opposite
stupid.
of what you would do, because then it's going to get out into the whole entire world.
And it's not one of those things where like, well, the movie has to have dumb logic in order for the script to progress. No, what you could have had was on the radio, they could have said, it is imperative that you neutralize that under any circumstances. And they go in on it and like them trying their most army best and using all their tactics, and it still fucks them up. That would have made the thing seem more badass than these armies guys just running away. Also not getting in any of the vehicles that are there. Yeah. It was just so dumb.
It set it up well, and here's where it comes. The whole thing with this movie and the whole thing with the plot, I'll get into specific little bits here and there, is that for every like cool idea it has, it kind of like it screws its own self. So the whole idea of this movie, beyond the, hey, we're doing a heist where we're going into Las Vegas, we're trying to break into this safe while we avoid the zombies, we're going to get the heist team together, you son of a bitch, I'm in, that kind of garbage. It's that the zombies in Las Vegas are almost like a tribe of their own. You have your normal shamblers who are like the dummies, but then you have the alphas, like the really big, crazy, strong ones who are like super fast runners, like in Left 4 Dead or something. And this opening scene is trying to show you like there is one that started all of this and he's super badass. But like Matt said, they don't actually make him feel strong. They make him feel like a goofy kind of villain. And so it loses out on the whole villainy aspect. So then when they prop this alpha zombie up as like the leader of the zombies and he's getting mad at the humans for coming, it all just kind of feels a little silly. I mean, you see the dude like rip people apart. And there's this weird sequence in the beginning where they offer somebody up to the zombies so they can like roam freely. There's a lot of like cool ideas with the society and how these zombies operate with it. They're different, but it all kind of doesn't make any sort of difference within the story because they don't really properly set it up. They're too busy focusing on every other subplot that they wanted to shove into this movie. Rolling right from the top there, Matt. I mean, it's really 40 minutes of like, hey, let's go get every kind of heist character you know. You got Big Dave Bautista. I don't even know his real name in the movie. It's Dave Bautista. He's a dad. He has a daughter. He has trauma. There's this like witty, kind of small, like lockpick guy who has like a sexual relationship with safes almost. It's like it's orgasmic for him. And then you got a few soldiers here and there. You got like a witty pilot, and it kind of rounds out the team. But instead of just establishing these characters and being like, look, they're caricatures of stereotypical characters you've seen in every horror movie. Everyone needs to have a subplot. Everyone needs to have something going on. And sometimes the movie is far more interested with some garbage subplot about Dave Bautista and his daughter, which is you can see the ending coming from a mile away. And it's almost like the movie knows you know what's going to happen. But instead of showing cool zombie stuff, they're like, the viewer wants to see this. I'm sorry, I don't want to trail off, but I feel like that's the biggest thing is it's just the human element. It doesn't feel real. None of the characters feel grounded. They all feel comic booky, but not comic booky enough to be like silly funny, you know?
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's like, okay, they have one of the characters is this Mexican guy who makes YouTube videos of himself killing zombies, and you go, all right, that's kind of cool.
I completely forgot about that. It was a cool idea.
And he's got this sort of like streamer hair where it's like kind of purple and curly and up. So, and they're all very, very stock. They'll speak like 80s stock action stars. When they talk to Tig Notaro for the first time, she's chomping on the cigar, and she's just, her opening line is like, yeah, she's the helicopter pilot they need to recruit. And the way she goes,
holy shit.
Holy shit, fuck. And I just think like, oh God, none of this feels real.
Sucks ass.
One thing that I will say, actor I saw, and it wasn't really the most compelling thing, but oh my God, what is his name? He played Scorpion in Mortal Kombat.
This should be a simple in and out.
I mean, you also saw him in Westworld Season 2. He's a fantastic martial artist, but he actually kind of had some stage presence or some screen presence. They don't really do anything with the character. He's just an asshole who betrays him in the end, which is like literally every character they introduce who's a little bit sketchy in the beginning. It just betrays everybody in the end. That's how it always goes. Every asshole in this movie is an asshole. They die, and it's funny to watch them die because they suck.
There are no subversions. There are no twists. The only twists are the ones that you know are coming because you've seen them in movies before.
Which is sad because kind of the cooler parts of this movie are the things that subverts the genre. Like there is a subplot with these two, the alpha and like his queen zombie. And they have like a weird romance subplot, which is kind of works, but then kind of doesn't. And it eventually they revealed that the queen zombie was pregnant with this like unborn zombie baby. And there's a scene where the alpha zombie rips it out of her womb and holds it up. And then that's it. That's it. Yeah. And it's like you could have taken that and done this campy weird thing where the zombie baby becomes an alpha zombie and you got some weird ass Resident Evil style monster running around. That could have been cool, but they're like, no, you really care about Dave Bautista's relationship with his daughter. That's what you want. You came to see this. And I'm like, no, you care about Gita, the character we don't spend any time developing because she has some kids. She needs to get out of the quarantine camp. And all the storytelling is just servicing to put people in one place so they can kill zombies. But it doesn't recognize that.
Like you're saying with the baby thing, They hint at it earlier in the movie because he kind of gets down and he like is when like the king and the queen zombie are speaking to all the zombie army. He goes down and he's motioning towards her belly. So you think, oh, she's probably pregnant.
Yeah.
So when she dies and he discovers her, you think that like it rocks his world. He would immediately run and try to kill the humans, but he just kind of picks up her body slow. Kind of takes his time. Everyone in this movie really takes their time with whatever they're doing, no matter the time limit that they're on.
Yeah.
Because at one point when they crack the safe.
Yes.
And they've realized, because they're doing this heist, they're supposed to have a day or two. And then the American government says, we're going to move it up by 24 hours.
There's a big-ass nuke that's going to come and hit the rest of Las Vegas.
That's right.
They got 3 days, but now they have 1.5 hours.
hours.
It simultaneously feels like 5 hours and also feels like they're doing everything in 30 minutes but taking forever. It's the weirdest, when you're like you're watching a movie and they're like, you have 1 minute till self-destruct, and you're counting the 60 seconds in your head and you're like, the time doesn't match up with how they're displaying it and how much time was. It's like that whole ending is just that. The time moves as it appeases the story and not the other way around.
But and that's fine. I can forgive that because obviously this isn't 24th Kiefer Sutherland. It's not a real time plotting. That's totally fine. What doesn't work is when you say we only have 90 minutes and then they break in. There's a point where they say we have 9 minutes before a nuclear bomb hits. We still need to. The safe is open. We need to pick up all this money and get into a helicopter.
$200 million in hard cash. Like that's
a lot of shit you gotta grab. They got 9 minutes, and at this point in the story, everyone is they walk into the safe and they're like, what are you gonna do with your money? And then all of a sudden there's like a love confession, long conversations hanging out. They go back up, they get into the helicopter, they're flying around. They've got like 3 minutes before it all detonates. And then Batista's like, I gotta go get my daughter. She went after this girl. And everyone ends up dying because of his daughter. Who I thought was played wonderfully by that actress.
I thought she was pretty good. I thought that
highlight of the movie for me was her performance.
Really?
I loved her performance. This girl is so magnetic. She has these humongous eyes. She looks like Alita Battle Angel.
She's
such a cool, to me, she's Sarah Connor. She can, she took this crappy dialogue and she has a way of just kind of like looking around before she speaks. And I thought she was fucking incredible. I didn't like her character.
I was going to say,
the character sucked. The side plots sucked. All that was bad. But her performance, I thought, she's good. She's a star.
That's good. He's getting swoon eyes. Well, let's move on. Let's talk about some performances because I mean I've talked about the plot. Here's what else I'll say. There's a scene early on that establishes there's a zombie tiger and it kind of roams the territory.
It's a goddamn zombie tiger.
There's a zombie tiger. And then very slowly over the movie, they develop this character who is a dick from the beginning. He's going to betray everybody. Turns out the whole reason they're there is to get the head of the queen zombie. They never needed the heist money in the first place. So he goes to betray everybody, and then the zombie tiger kills him. And it's like
I love. Hang on a second. I love how you introduce this as let's talk about some performances. I'm like, okay, we're talking about Batista, and you're like, there's a zombie tiger.
The zombie tiger had the best
tiger of the year.
Yeah. Well, no, but the last little plot bit I wanted to cover. It was just. As that started happening, I said, can we just watch this guy die for a minute straight? And they really did it. It's pretty brutal.
What do you think of the length of that? Because I heard some people complaining about it. I thought it worked really well.
What people saying that it was like too disturbing, drawn out,
too long. But I thought that was great. I mean, he's been an asshole the whole movie. You know it's coming. They've been building up the tiger the whole time. They met. They really did this sort of like 80s, 90s, like physical makeup on his face where the tiger's kind of batting him around like a cat would play with a mouse, like playing with him because it could kill him at any moment. And then all of a sudden they kind of, they cut to the next sequence and now he's got the big makeup on his face. His face is just getting like fucking shredded.
Yeah, he's getting fucked up.
And the tiger keeps playing with him, keeps going, then goes to bite on him and just crushes him like a grape. It's pretty amazing.
Bites his head off like from the jaw up, so it's just the tiger bites his head off, and then when it crunches and pulls up, you just see the bottom of it. It's like that's what I'm saying. The gore is fun, like that kind of stuff. I'm like, I'm in it. I'm here for it, baby. I said to you when we were talking, there was a moment in this film where zombie gets a headshot, and it looked like there was a robot under there, and I was like, oh my god, are they robotic zombies? Now we're in it, but no, nothing really. Yeah, let's talk about performances.
Okay, what do you think of Batista as a leading man? Because I would say the guy's charming. He's good. He doesn't really enunciate a lot. He kind of talks a bit like this, which they sort of used as a great joke with Dieter.
By the way, what's your name?
Scott Ward.
Sorry?
Scott Ward.
Dieter Scott Ward.
I thought Batista did fine. I didn't think he was bad, but I don't think he's going to have, if anything, he's going to be the parallel of Keanu Reeves. He does well in these action. He has a lot of presence on screen, and he has this kind of cool, calm. You've seen him do it with Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy. He knows how to have some comedic timing. I think that the script asked too much of him without giving him enough to work with. The things that I noticed about Dave Bautista's performances were almost nothing. I thought it was fine the entire way through. The times in which it did like kind of fall apart was when he had to show a lot of emotion, like when like you said, the girl was like professing her love to him. Like, it didn't seem like he was very receptive to it, but also because the whole love story didn't feel real. There was no chemistry between the characters. In the end there, when he's trying to, like you were saying, well, we only have so many minutes left before the whole entire Las Vegas explodes, but he wants to go get his daughter. One of the characters argues with him, and he's just like, it's my daughter! And then he punches a wall, and you could tell within the script it was meant to be way more emotionally charged, but at this point, either Dave Bautista was tired of fucking filming, or just didn't have it in him. So in those moments, like the real raw emotion where a scene could have breached like true emotional heart or something, he didn't bring it. But then again, I don't think he needed to, because it wasn't gonna. He was okay. I didn't think he was great. Some people are saying that Dave Bautista carried this movie on his back. No, he's very strong. He probably could. It would be impressive to watch. He could probably carry Zack Snyder around like a wrestler or something. but like as far as he goes, I like the German locksmith character more. There's a soldier character who has a giant chainsaw. That's the whole thing, even though he never used the chainsaw in the main part of the movie.
You ready to play?
I forget the character's name, but
most of these characters have forgettable names. But I liked his chainsaw thing, and I liked he had like a few little quirky, funny lines where he was saying, oh, maybe this is all like a big time loop, and we're always the whole time. Like, he has some funny insight, and I thought that kind of stuff stuck more to me than Dave Bautista, but not because Dave Bautista was one way or the other. He was just filling the role as big zombie kill man. I am the dad, like, leading man. He is just leading man A in this movie, and I'm not going to shit on him for not bringing his all, but I'm also not going to pat him on the back for providing a performance that was whatever.
this is a Zack Snyder thing. If you look at the casting choices for Snyder, all right, he cast Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman.
Sure.
He takes Batista here.
Yep.
And a lot of the people that he casts, I think he goes for a look.
Aquaman was very
Jason
sexually
Momoa.
attractive. That's a very nice looking man.
That's a great example, because Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot, incredibly attractive, very striking, but they cannot strong and physical, but cannot carry a movie and connect with an audience and deliver a lot of dialogue. But I feel like he doesn't care. I think he goes, I like the way they look, and I'm a visual guy, and that's why he shouldn't. I don't think he should cast, and I don't think he should write scripts.
They're not what you think they are.
I liked the chainsaw guy, but the reasons I liked these people were because they brought some energy to it. They brought some quirkiness to it. The reason I didn't like Batista as much is because the character was just so, oh, everything's sad. I'm sorry I had to kill your mom. Isn't that why you don't like me? Oh, you didn't like me because I'm not emotionally available? Me, David Batista? Like, that's, it writes its fucking self. But
that's where the movie struggled a lot, is that it would have... Okay, you have the incredible zany opening montage. Immediately following that, we see Dave Bautista brutally murder his wife in extreme slow-mo while he's crying and spitting tears, and then the daughter comes in and screams.
He brought it emotionally in that scene, but he wasn't talking.
And this is a split second after a really funny, fun Vegas montage where you're like, death is hilarious. They're dropping shipping containers on people.
Strippers who are zombies.
And it's like bright, it's colorful, it's neon. It looks like the background behind me. It's so fun. And then immediately like, no, be serious.
His wife. Dave Bautista's going to do domestic murder in front of his daughter.
And then
is this the move you came for?
And that is a lot of it. And then in the end, because this is the spoiler review,
yeah, spoilers, baby.
The Bautista's destiny gets fulfilled, and he needs to be killed by his daughter. And there's a lot of kind of crying and screaming. I'm like, this isn't fucking Saving Private Ryan.
Think about everything we did, all those people we saved.
the juxtaposition of tones is so blatant throughout this entire movie that it's like they're just juggling everything, kind of throwing a dartboard. Like, okay, is this going to be funny or sad scene? What are we doing? They're just throwing at the dartboard and picking. So I think it's a good thing. We should talk about the juxtaposition or the tone of the movie in general.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with how it was filmed, the kinds of choices that Zack Snyder took creatively, like the slow-mo, like you're saying. He loves
He loves a lot of slow-mo. He invested in all of these dream lenses off eBay so he could give it a real kind of soft 70s vintage look. And if you'll notice, there's an extremely shallow depth of field that
like you see the character's face and then everything behind them is ultra
Everything is
blurry.
out.
And I was like, you guys didn't buy a set? You didn't, huh? Where are you filming this at?
you don't have to. And I mean, and it looks like the movie is done on like a pretty low budget where you've got some kind of small sets, but mostly green screen. And maybe to do all that Vegas stuff, that would have been a lot more expensive because this was mostly
CGI. You see the CGI, they spent it. They got the tiger. You know, you have a big few wide shots. There's big moments of CGI, but you even said a lot of the effects, like the blood effects and like when the guy's getting attacked by the tiger, it's practical stuff. It's old school. You know, exactly. Yeah. I think they might have just not had the effects money. But what were you saying? It is a lot of CGI. It's a lot of blue screen. It feels like self-contained characters. You know, here's talking to these characters in these close-ups, not these big wide shots. You only get a few of those.
And I like his close-ups, and I like the way that he plays with focus. I like the way that he'll have a blurry scene and a character will come into focus that is an important character at the moment, and there'll be a zombie that is sharp in focus and then backs away and goes out of focus. And I like the way he plays with that. Sometimes he fucks up and there'll be people in the scene that are totally out of focus because he's using these incredibly shallow lenses, but I like that he plays fast and loose with that.
Yeah, and then some of the shots feel a little muddy, and I guess that's the primary issue when we talk about tone, is that when you have these kind of big grandiose moments where it's just zombies killing and Zack Snyder's allowed to just go free or whatever. There's I think about three-fourths of the way through the movie, or when they're trying to exit Las Vegas, they're turned on the lights. They've turned on the breaker because in Las Vegas, you know, all the lights are off, the whole city shut down. They turn on the breaker.
They're all in one breaker.
Yeah, it's all, they turn it on, the whole entire casino comes back to life, and then there's this big slow-mo scene where everybody gets a little bit of time. You see Batista doing like John Wick shit. A lot of John Wicky influences where, you know, hit some headshots and stuff, and that kind of stuff is fun. It's cool to watch, but as soon as they get into this kind of character drama that doesn't work, that's when you get these kind of close-ups, these very intimate shots, and that's where the mistakes start to happen, where a lot of it, because like Matt said, because he used such a shallow depth of field, it's like, here's David Batista's face, and then something blue, I guess, behind him.
Everything is blurry behind it.
Back and forth for about 2 minutes with a conversation you don't care about, with characters you know are going to die in 2 seconds, and you're just like, let's get through it.
You know what it's like? It'd be like if you're a kid and you're playing with your dad in the park and you're having a lot of fun, and then you're just throwing a ball, and then he grabs your face and he's like, listen, son.
Let me tell you an old story.
A lot of children died in sweatshops to make this baseball. But hey, let's have fun with the baseball again.
Well, and I think sometimes they're intentionally trying to go for those like shock, you know, value moments where one of the most graphic deaths in the film is, what's the character? They really don't develop her at all. She's kind of the main female lead who goes.
It's his new love interest because he murdered his wife.
So
right as she's confessing her love, and she's like, I came here for you, not for the money. Her head gets 360 no-scoped.
It's so hilarious.
It's just the zombie takes her head and just says, this is on the other way now.
Yeah.
And then it's pretty great.
It's a cool effect. It is really cool effect. The way her spine like bulges out of the back of her thing and pops out. That's pretty amazing.
And that would have been way cooler if there was no like love interest thing for 2 minutes. He just looked over and he was like, hey, we gotta, and her head snapped, and then would have been like, oh, okay, they just killed that character off real hard. But because they set it up and they're trying to do exposition right before, you're like, all right, well, she's gonna die. I think that a lot of this movie is that. It's a really good, really fun shot or a sequence preceded or right after with a bunch of boring stuff that you don't care about, that you know is not gonna matter when everybody's dead at the end of the movie anyways.
That's crossing the line.